Welcome to this vodcast edition of Everything Korean, Insights into Korean Business, sponsored by Bridging Culture Worldwide and KoreaBusinessCentral.com. This is your host, Don Southerton. In a recent conversation with a colleague, we discussed how an American firm new to Korea contacted us. They inquired how best to enter the Korean market. After some deliberation, the firm decided they would handle the Korea market launch themselves. My colleague and I agreed they would have a rough time not going with a Korea-savvy professional company assisting them. Sadly, I felt that not offering the team consulting, training, and coaching, and to handle things themselves was, in my experience, famous last words. Why? Well, in my experience, organizations hoping their team will get it and adapt quickly rarely works. Even if the plan includes hiring Koreans and Korean heritage staff, which is very helpful in language issues, but can have little impact on dealing with more complex issues. It takes an expert, someone skilled, a specialist. In the long run, not knowing the client's company culture, norms, expectations will be costly, not only in fiscal terms, but in poor productivity, stress, and frustration. By the way, this applies equally to Korean-based firms expanding their global operations, foreign firms looking to enter the Korean market, or foreign firms supporting Korean global operations. In all, the decision to forego sharing Korean culture, norms, and expectations with non-Korean teams is a huge mistake. One consequence is employee turnover. Another is poor performance. And probably the most critical is failing to meet the expectations of the Korean organization. All is not doom and gloom. There are a number of positive options. First, if you plan to enter the Korean market, seek out and hire a top firm specializing in Korean market entry. Just make sure they're in tune with Korea's changing business landscape. I call this Korea 2.0. I'd be happy to recommend a few firms with great reputations. Second, provide support across your organization to those involved in the venture. For your home and lead teams, training and coaching work best. In fact, it produces results and is much less costly than the consequences that can include lawsuits, employee turnover, and missing goals with low productivity, not to mention tensions between you and the client over expectations. Third, key management needs access to coaching and someone to answer their questions on topics ranging from strategy to the impact of routine management changes with their Korean partners. They also need frequent updates on Korea and your market. To conclude, I'm so passionate about Korean-based global business that I'd like to offer you and your team a complimentary evaluation and consultation. No strings attached. To arrange the consultation, you can email dsoutherton@bridgingculture.com, Skype at ds19192, or phone 1-301-866-3777. As always, Bridging Culture Worldwide and its partners are here to assist you and support you 24/7, 365. This is your host, Don Southerton, wishing you all the best.